who will no doubt get involved at some stage this afternoon. And Saints looking to make it 4 wins on the spin. Two teams normally fancied for flair and favour, who've struggled to put points on the board. Will this be the day, at Magic Weekend, that Saints and Huddersfield come alive?
Yeah, well, Huddersfield have got a good record, haven't they? They've got more wins than any other team with 10. Looking to shift the ball early and try and just take the game to Saints. Look, I agree with Barry McDermott in the studio as well. Look, they've got some razzle-dazzle players, Huddersfield. But is that the problem? Are they working hard enough? Attack has been a big issue for them. Defensively, they're not that bad. They've got the fourth best defence in the competition, but they've got to get this part of the game right.
Here is Theo Farge up against his understudy. When he was at Saints, the master and the pupil. Farge and Lewis Dodd, and Lolohea just hangs on to the ball inside the Saints half of the field. This is the last one. It'll go back to Farge with that trademark scrum cap on, and it's well taken by T. Ritson for Saints, but a decent opening set for the Giants.
Well, the big thing is you want to start the game off well. You want to knock off your sets. You knock them off in blocks of 5 without making a mistake, and kick to the corners and defend that next set of stick. You know you've got to hit hard and stick as well. The first 3 plays, they heavily rely on those play the balls and the speed around the ruck, Saints, to give James Roby a bit of a plan.
So the opening stages of this game, day 2 of Magic. Warrington against Hull FC still to come, but for now it's Saints and Huddersfield taking centre stage with Alex Walmsley just up to halfway. James Roby involved as ever, and Lewis Dodd will get the kick away, but it's an easy take for Lolohea right in front of his own post. Saints outside the top 6. And for Paul Wellens, it's been difficult, hasn't it, since that history-making day in Sydney in February when they beat Penrith and won the World Club Challenge. It's been a tough ask in Super League.
Yeah, it has, but didn't they do a great job down on the last year's grand finals? But like you said, the amount of success that this club have had over the years, and they know that they're going to be up against a very difficult, determined side here, and they're already looking to shift the ball from left to right, relying heavily on the likes of Chris Hill up against Alex Walmsley in the middle of the field.
Well, that'll be a real battle, won't it? Inglis and Hill against Walmsley and Matty Lees. Lolohea skips out of the tackle of Personal, gets the ball away. Chris Hill, did he knock the ball on? It doesn't matter, it's picked up by T. Ritson. And the first mistake from Huddersfield gives Saints decent field position.
Well, keep shifting the ball and maybe not respecting it. They're just trying to break down this Saints side. The hit here on Chris Hill forces the error.
Conrad Hurrell. And what a star that he's been for St Helens in the 2 years that he's been with the club. And Walmsley feeds the ball off to James Bell, just signed a 2-year extension to his contract with the Super League champions. Matty Lees, first opportunity then inside the Huddersfield 20. The last tackle as Roby slides it towards Lewis Dodd. Little chip over the top, but that was ineffective again. 2 kicks away from Dodd, and they've both been poor, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a poor kick. That wasn't really challenging kick and didn't really put them under any sort of pressure. Huddersfield now, will they go route 1? Will they just try and chew up those yards and get away from the try line? Keep it nice and simple. Get to the kick. Work on the back of that. Ian Watson will be saying, here you go.
Well, there's the early kick from Connor, and Wellesby had to watch it very carefully. And good chase by his former teammate Kevin Nagama.
Well, it's a good defensive kick, isn't it? Look, you kick early, you know that there's some space at the back, and this is where they've got to be good now. Say it all the time about being disciplined. Earn the right to play, earn the right to defend, and earn that field position as well.
It's a tactic that Huddersfield have used very, very effectively since Ian Watson arrived at the club. Kicking early in the tackle count and putting pressure on the defence of their opponents. Walmsley. Of course, Saints have a huge day with their arch rivals Wigan live on Sky Sports next Friday. Hurrell gets the ball out, it wasn't the best one, and Makinson could do nothing about it, foot in touch. And for all that Conrad Hurrell does well for St Helens, he does come up with the odd dumb play.
And it's poor play as well from Saints. They only managed to make 19 metres. Look, you go back to that kick from Jake Connor. The kick from Jake Connor puts them in a position, forces St Helens on the last play. They're looking to try and play. The ball wasn't good enough, the mistake from Makinson, and now they're under pressure on halfway. But you go for that, even if Jake Connor doesn't get that 40-20. That next set defensively has got to be good. You'd apply pressure through your defence.
And it was. Here is Chris Hill, the grand old man, the warhorse. What a servant he's been for all his clubs down the year, Chris Hill. He's having a look back. This is the 528th game of Chris Hill's career. And he's going around for 2 more years with the Giants. Farge and good hands, but that was a good tackle from Makinson on Easton Masters on the far side.
Nice play, pulled the trigger and got that right, didn't he?
Good now, go on, Sam.
Cudjoe.
Move, James Lewis.
Hasn't he been good? He's played the last 3 in the back row, Leroy Cudjoe.
And looked good at it as well. There's a little chip over and the oceans of space there. Can Wellsby get the ball clear? And it's a try, I think, in the end. It could be the Garber against his former club. The ball was bouncing awkwardly. Wellsby couldn't get to it. And the video ref, Liam Moore, will double check.
Okay, it's tackle 4. Live assist is a try. This comes from a kick, so we can confirm they're all onside to the right. So they're all onside to the right. McQueen doesn't become involved anyway, so I'm happy to play on from this point. Just on the pick-up and grounding now. So that's missed there by Bibby. We're just on the grounding now. He's in the field of play. Thank you. I made my decision.
There is the beauty of the kicking game that we've seen so far from the Huddersfield Giants. One kick to the corner to pin St Helens back, and one kick to the corner to score the opening try of this game. Kevin Nagama won 3 grand finals for St Helens, and he's scored 3 tries in 4 games now for Huddersfield.
Yeah, well, good play, isn't it? And like you said, on the back of 2 decent kicks, and the rugby IQ from Turi Lola here. He's good value at the back, isn't he? Look, he spots some grass at the back. He knows that he's got a couple of players pushing up. Kevin Nagama, like you said, used to play for Saints, was man of the match in the 2021 Grand Final. And this is just timing to perfection from him. Gets that ball down, knowing that the dead ball line's coming up, but the kick from Turi Lola here, that did all the damage.
Well, the difference so far has been the kicking game.
Yep.
For me, Huddersfield's has been excellent. St Helens hasn't been, and Jake Connor off the touchline. He'll have a big influence today, make no mistake about that. And that one is lovely. On target, never looked in any doubt. And Huddersfield lead deservedly by 6 points to 0.
Well, again, you look at this unfold, and Turi Lola here, he's so intelligent. He's only missed a game this year, and when he plays, he causes them some problems. And Kevin Nagama, what they've got in them and Masters in the centre, they've got 2 creative centres who the wingers get plenty of the ball and in good field position as well.
Contact's good.
Inglis drives the ball forward for the Giants. Just 5 wins in 12 games. It's been a really disappointing season for a team fancied to really challenge at the top of the Super League table, especially after finishing 3rd in 2022. But they've made the perfect start here. Cudjoe brought down.
Well, they've spent big, haven't they? And expectations are high, like they have been for a number of years now at Huddersfield. They've got to make sure that they get that right. Like I said, finished 3rd last year. Haven't quite clicked this year, but everyone's waiting for them when you look at the roster.
That's okay, still 4.
Well, they're chancing their arm again. Farge involved inevitably, and it's Nagama, the try scorer. Brought down midway inside his own half. Last one, lower here. trying to be smart. Decent kick, just makes Welsby work for it at the back.
Pass is good.
Makinson
One.
making only a couple of yards. Again, the chase is good.
Well done.
Well, just got to make sure you get in the face, don't you? Stopping both wingers there, not making many metres where they normally do.
Go to, well done.
And again, the line speed pretty good, restricting the metres from Mark Percival as well.
Percival missed the last 5 games with a hamstring injury. Walmsley looking for a way through. He was terrific, wasn't he, in that dramatic Golden Point win over Leeds at Headingley last weekend. Welsby, room now for Makinson, trying to cut inside. Senior just about does enough to bring back the Saints winger. Hauls him to the ground. Dodd on the last. Teasing kick. The ball is back for Welsby. Welsby inside for Harrell! And Harrell uses strength and power and scores.
Time off. It's tackle 5. Just got to
With a try given on the field, I think they may be checking the grounding. Let's see. Have Saints hit back?
Okay, it's tackle 5, Labison's the try. So we're checking the onside from the original kick, please. So if we can pause it on the foot. So we can see the Hurrell and Makinson are offside to the left. So let's just, to the right, sorry. Let's just track what happens to them. So we can go back again, please, on that. Just go back to the original kick, please. Just see, look at the players. So the wide's the best one, please, for that. Yeah, so on the foot, so let's just confirm who's offside. So we've got Hurrell and Makinson are both offside there. The rest have got both feet behind the ball. So I'm happy to play on at this point. So let's just track Hurrell and Makinson. Yeah, they're both outside the 10, so we can play on from this point. Let's play on. Live decisions a try. So we're just on the grounding now. Just on the grounding. And ball is grounded. Thank you. I made my decision.
Liam Moore, the video referee, spotted that initially Makinson and Hurrell were offside, but it didn't come into play, and Conrad Hurrell bangs the ball down for his 6th try of the season. And Saints, you've got to say, out of nowhere, hit back, 10 minutes gone.
That's what we're saying to dangerous, Andy, when you don't expect it. There was a good ball from Jack Welsby to Tommy Makinson that made the break and got him into this position. And it's a good kick, and it's only as good as the chase. Nice offload, and Jack Welsby gets players interested. They start going sideways. As soon as you start going sideways and your hips and your shoulders are facing towards the touchline, you can't readjust. Good offload from Bachelet. The interest that Jack Welsby creates, and then the big, powerful Tongan international just gets the ball and powers over the line.
You made a point earlier about Lewis Dodd and his kick earlier on the last tackle, which wasn't very good. He got it absolutely spot on there, didn't he, Dodd? And Makinson looking to level up this game. Cracking start.
Nope.
That's a dreadful kick. Wow.
10 metres.
Well, you look at Lewis Dodd. His rugby smarts are really good. You get enough hang time on a ball, and you make it into a genuine contest. Look, the majority of players there were onside. The 2 players that were offside didn't get involved. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you go up there, you compete, you get the ball back, you're close to the line, you cause them some problems.
Okay, impact.
So Saints back in it, Makinson with a poor conversion attempt, 6 points to 4. We talked about, well, the boys talked about before the game, Huddersfield's attack being the 3rd worst in Super League. Saints' attack has been blunted this season, and how? They get a set restart. Last year at the same stage, Saints have scored 56 tries and over 300 points. So far this season, after 13 games, just 33 tries and 192 points, and that kind of tells a story, Terry.
It's as though they haven't got going since that big win down under, and everyone expected them. And hey, let's not forget, going into the season, that Saints were the team to beat. Saints are the team that still everybody raises the game to play. They have been the standard bearers for years now.
Still free. 4.
Yeah, Dolan is trying to wriggle his way out of a tackle. Here is Roby. Leeds charging forward, back after a 2-match ban. Last tackle for Saints. 12 minutes gone, the Giants lead 6-4. And Dodd goes to the air. That's a good kick. Spirals, awkward, but it bounces favourably for young Innes Senior, who run the ball back for the Giants. Third last year, and a real puzzle while they're struggling this year. They have had injuries, but so have most of the teams in Super League, to be fair.
Well, you're right, getting all those connections. I said before about the squad that they've got. It's a big squad. A lot of money in that Huddersfield team, and I'm sure Ian Watson scratching his head on why they haven't been performing. Well, they get a penalty here for being St Helens been offside, not back with the referee.
And 3-4 by me.
Well, Huddersfield here, they've got some decent field position, and they've been playing out the sets. Both sides have been completing high in the opening 13 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was Dodd and Percival offside. First penalty of the game goes to the Giants. Here is their captain, Luke Yates, one of the hardest working in Super League. Second on the tackle count. Behind the Leeds captain Cameron Smith, Luke Yates. What a good player he has been over the last few years in Super League. Here is Hill. Picked it off his boots like a centre.
Move on the line, Kurt. Wait.
Close to that St Helens line. A try apiece and a set restart. What an opportunity this is. Barge runs up against Roby. And then Hurrell completes the tackle, but St Helens have got some defending to do here. Yates right on that line.
Move, James.
Penalty conceded.
Hold. Go to.
Set restart conceded. Farge for Hill once more. Lees is in there with the tackle. Siranin also.
Hold, James. Go free.
They go to the left with Peets. Lolla here just holds the ball up, and
again, that's good timing. It's good timing from Makinson.
Yeah. They go the short side once more. Lolla here kicks the ball through. Was that played out? Bell will pick it up and just stays in the field of play. So you feel there, Terry, that the real missed opportunity for Huddersfield.
Yeah, well, they go back to the left-hand side because Makinson had come in and shut the play down. They thought that there might have been some space, but I think it was Bell that puts his foot out, gets the ball. Again, Huddersfield just looking to turn the screw and get off the line and really stop Saints from making any good meters in the opening couple of carries. But when he gets the ball is kicked from Bell. He reacts to it, but they were looking for that space where Makinson had come in field. Great tackle from him.
Yeah, spot on. Well spotted, Terry. 6-4, Huddersfield in front. 15 minutes gone and a set restart for Saints now. Here is Bell. Much improved, and he's had some bad luck in his time at Saints, just missing out on big finals, but he played a big part, didn't he, in Saints' win at the World Club Challenge against Penrith. Dodd slipped, but he didn't let go of the ball. The referee Marcus Griffiths will say go back a yard or two and have another go, which he does. Here is Matty Lees.
Holding me.
Saints midway inside the Huddersfield half. Dodd charge again from Bell. Couple of tackles left in this set. Roby as they go right. Lomax, Hurrell, and another error from Conrad Hurrell with a. Well, it was a non-look pass. Yeah. Two mistakes from the good, the bad, and the ugly, hasn't it, from Hurrell? The tries made a couple of really good tackles, but a couple of silly errors with the ball.
Well, they have got some good set-up play, haven't they? Hurrell tries to get the offload away. The halfback's got an option inside and out, someone out the back, and probably just looking to overplay then Conrad Hurrell. He attracts some attention from the defenders and just tries it too much. There's a bloke who I love watching play. RD14. If he can get to that form that he showed in 2017, wow.
Farge opens up the space for Nagama. Nagama goes through 3 men. Nagama, what an effective player he is, and what an effective tackle that was from Jack Welsby. Last one, but they may have numbers out left. Connor it is, and Cudjoe, and it's dropped by Masters, and another opportunity, half a chance.
Yeah, well, looking to shift the ball. The call come to shift it over to the left-hand side. He couldn't quite do it. But look, you give the ball to this man, and things happen. Ngama, brilliant player. The Saints fans used to cheer him on. Like you said before, especially in that final in 2021, his final game for them. And just looking at Huddersfield and Theo Farge in particular, another former Saints player, he's getting some attention from the Saints defenders. When he's going at the line, he's having a real dig, trying to create some space, and he's getting some afters.
Yeah, another former Saint on the bench as well, and Joe Greenwood, 6'4". 18 minutes on the clock. Huddersfield lead. Only ever lost 1 game at Newcastle in 6. The Huddersfield Giants. Warmed up to halfway, and another set restart given away, this time by Ika Ahifo. So good field position here for St Helens to build. Lees charges forward.
Off the ball.
Up 30 yards out from the Huddersfield try line. Dodd and Lomax, and that's a brilliant offload for Welsby. Welsby inside for Percival. Well, that was classy St Helens. That was the St Helens of old. Hot handling. And a second try, and Saints hit the front.
No, when they play like this, they're outstanding to watch, Andy. The support, the man who's got the ball. And all they do, and those Saints fans know it, is they just push up, they work extra hard with each other. And as long as they get that attacking shape, you can see the movement at the back from Johnny Lomax. Curtis Sirenen, what a great offload to Jack Welsby, and Jack Welsby then, in return to Mark Percival. Jack Welsby, so dangerous. This is 10th try assist of the year. And he gives it Mark Percival. Might have missed the last 5 games, but he knows where he's got to turn up, doesn't he? A slow start for Saints, but they're in the groove now. Nice offload, push up in support. And soon as Jack Welsby gets that ball, he knows on the inside, he's got the call from that man, Mark Percival, to score the second try of the game for Saints.
Third try of the season, testimonial year. Key player for St Helens, isn't he? Well, Makinson, who missed the first conversion from a fairly easy position, makes no mistake this time, and St Helens extend their lead. They were 6-0 down, and they now lead by 10 points to 6.
Well, Johnny Lomax normally has his fingerprints on most things. Look, he could recognise that Ngama shoots the line, there's space there. He goes short to Sirenen, who then in turn offloads to Jack Welsby. And when you've got someone ultra-competitive like Johnny Lomax in your side, right, you've got a serious chance of winning most games, haven't you? And if you just watch him as well, Stuart, he's like some, oh, is it a mistake? Oh no, they just might manage to get it and get back in the field of play. But he's a big key indicator to where Saints play, where they attack. He's like windscreen wipers at the back of the ruck. He's going from one side of the field to the other.
Ritson missed it, Welsby dropped it, Welsby slipped and then scrambled out. Here is Sirenen, more and more influential, has an option for 2024, Curtis Sirenen. I'd be very surprised if he isn't around in a St Helens jersey next year.
Yeah, you'd look to keep hold of him. He has been a very good signing, hasn't he?
Hold. Go for, yes.
Really good game, 21 minutes, 10-6. An open game, looks like we're going to have plenty of points, Terry.
I think Huddersfield need to have a decent spell with the ball, or they started well. Unfortunately, they've conceded 2 tries. And Tuilola here, the man who's got the ball now, They need him to get hold of the ball as much as possible, along with Theo Fage and Connor.
James.
In his senior brought down, but just inside his own half of the field. Masters up to halfway.
Move, Lewis. Hold, mate. Wait.
Saints beating the Giants 14-12 back in March. It was a cold night. It was a real grueling game. And Saints just about getting the job done, hanging on, I think, for the last 15 minutes to get the win. Fage offloads to McQueen, and that is one of 4 games, Terry, that the Giants have lost by 6 points or less this season. 5 margins in Super League, especially this year, and it just looks so wide open, the whole competition.
Well, we've seen a number of teams that you lose games by a couple of points, and all of a sudden you keep dropping down the table while other teams are picking up points. And to be there or thereabouts at the end of the year.
Could be clear here. Oh, that was what a crucial intervention that was from Tui Lolohea.
Got the one. Well done, Joe. One.
If you give Ritson daylight and space, I'll tell you what, if he'd have got past Lolohea, no one would have stopped him.
Yeah, he's quick, isn't he? But it's good play, desperate defence from them. Lewis Dodd back on his feet now. He just had a bit of a problem in the background. The physio was with him.
Go one.
Well, Huddersfield not doing themselves any favours with these set restarts either. Penalty, I think, to St Helens. Awkward in the tackle. It was Leroy Cudjoe.
Start moving that way. Time off.
Of Makinson.
Just jump behind the line.
Was it Yates?
Yeah, Yates initially.
Yes.
The captain, Luke Yates.
I am not a lover
No.
of them tackles. In fact, I despise them, I'll be honest. You know, 2 players are holding him up. 3rd man to come in like that, they need just getting out of the game.
I think St Helens lost Sione Matautia, didn't they, to the sin bin against Leeds for a similar challenge.
And I'm surprised that Sione Matautia didn't get banned for that challenge on Mikolaj Ledski. I'll be honest. Like, you can't come in and hit someone, hit the standing leg. Like people used to say, and they used to say, oh, you're all right, you can hit the crease of the knee, but then where does your torso end up? Look, the leg goes, it's 10 minutes, at least in the sin bin for me. Absolute, at least in the sin bin.
10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not going to be judge and jury over this, but I want to see players, if they come up with tackles like that, they're going to pick up a ban. I've said it for a number of years now, since I've seen these creep into the game. Like, they are just not needed. Look, it doesn't do that man any good. You're behind on the scoreboard. Your attack's not been great all year. You can't be down to 12 men. And like that, nah, get that out of the game.
I concur. Strong words from Terry O'Connor, but he's spot on. And the referees are being consistent as well. That now has become whatever, an automatic yellow card.
Do you know what it should be? For me, an automatic red. If you can go and do something like that and then injure a player, no time for it, I'll be honest.
Yates has 10 minutes in the sin bin. St Helens lead by 10 points to 6. 24 minutes on the clock. James Bell with the ball. Roby. Dodd misses one out. Wellesby will have to go to ground. James Roby, game 534 for his hometown club. And here he is again, running matters at the play the ball. Walmsley does well. Offload for Roby, and Wellesby again will just have to hang on to the ball. Does even better. Cuts back inside. Saints threatening again. The Giants down to 12. Dodd with a little chip through. The race is on, but there was too much on that from Lewis Dodd, and I'm not sure that was the right play. Saints had numbers out to the left. The Giants will be just glad to keep Saints out after losing Luke Yates to the sin bin.
You know, he couldn't go short with the pass then, and sometimes you've got to back your half back. Yeah, he overcooked it, but again, you turn the ball over where you want. You've got 7 tackles now to deal with. And you know that if that doesn't come off, that's the gamble that you take.
Go one.
Joe Greenwood. 5 years of his career at St Helens, and he may well have taken...
He was out straight away.
Yeah, an awkward hit. That doesn't look very good, Terry.
No, as soon as he goes into contact then, he was gone. You could see the way that his body reacted and what happened on the back of that. And Ian Watson, well, he's having a little chat now with Jake Bibby, just giving him some direction of what he's seen from the sideline, whether that's a weakness or an area of the field that he wants to get at Saints. And Alex Walmsley, the big enforcer for Saints, averages 10 metres per carry, the big man.
Well, he'd only just come on, Joe Greenwood. He was saying 5 years.
That was his first carry, wasn't it?
5 years at Saints at the start of his career, and he just got his head in the wrong position. Paul Wellens, his first magic weekend as coach. His first magic weekend as a player back in 2007 at Cardiff. He scored 4 tries.
Right, mate.
Against Wigan, and just a reminder, Saints against Wigan next Friday, live and exclusive on Sky Sports. And then Huddersfield are back on Sky on Saturday.
I've got it, his head on
Warrington against Huddersfield on Saturday evening, 5 o'clock kickoff, and there we go, confirming main event in Arena for Saints Wigan next Friday.
Right, Dave. He'll jump flop on him and then you won't get kicks again.
The stoppage in play
They will see them in the back.
because of an injury to Joe Greenwood.
Well, the medical staff have worked well, haven't they, over the weekend? Big stoppages yesterday, stoppages today.
Okay. Yeah.
And the fans will just take the time and relax, and just as long as the player's okay, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's worth a shout.
We saw a long stop in the opening game, didn't we? Jack Croft of Wakefield to receive some attention. 3 tries so far, this is the first one. Lovely kick from Lola here, setting up the try for Nagama.
Well, they've got enough players, haven't they, that'll cause them some problems, Huddersfield, but they've just got to be in the right area of the field. St Helens, when they do get in the right area of the field, they know how to score, they know how to build pressure. Don't overplay, stay nice and controlled, nice good offload, and Jack Wellsby, decent ball on the inside to Conrad Hurrell, who just powers over. They say Dodd to Lomax, short ball to Siren, nice offload. Comes in to Wellsby, and Mark Percival will just get told for their second try.
Well, disappointing news, isn't it, for the Huddersfield Giants, Joe Greenwood. He was a head clash, but he was a big blow, Terry.
Well, he comes straight onto the ball, doesn't he? And Alex Walmsley just collides with him. And soon as Alex Walmsley makes contact with him, head on head, you can tell that he's in a bit of trouble, he's in a bit of strife, Joe Greenwood.
Is he off? Tackle on, time back on.
But on we go. So a head injury assessment for Joe Greenwood. If you are just joining us live on Sky Sports, day 2 of Magic Weekend, the Giants are down to 12 men for the next 5 minutes. Luke Yates, their captain, sent to the sin bin, yellow card for a cannonball tackle.
And it looks like Harry Rushton's on the field now for Joe Greenwood.
So still a couple of tackles left in this set for 12-man Huddersfield. Saints leading 10-6. And that was Rushton with the offload.
Good work. Nice carry from Ikehefo.
Yes. Strong from Ikehefo. Connor finds Lola here with a little kick through. And it was well taken. So 10-6 it is, 14 minutes to go to half-time.
What's the defence going to be like here now? Nice and solid contact. Clamp hold of that ball, push them back. Again, nice and tight here. Good line speed from Huddersfield.
Now, Sirenen can only reach the 10-metre line for Saints.
No, but the big thing for Sirenen, he lands on his front and he just gets a couple of defenders interested again. It's a decent play, the ball. The outside back's coming in. Nice ball.
Oh, hang on a sec. Bell's away. Has he got to Paul? Lomax is outside him. Inside him is Makinson. But a cross-cut piece to make the tackle. Last one. Saints with a quick play the ball. It goes to the right-hand side. They've got numbers there. Lomax inside. Offload for Roby. Desperate defending. And Wellsby is brought down. And Saints an ace away from scoring a cracking try on the break. But 12-man Huddersfield bravely survived just.
Well, Jake Bibby was the man that rescued the situation, but what nice hands from Conrad Huddle. Normally the barnstorming centre showed a nice little tip on, I think it was to James Bell. But Jake Bibby comes up with a try saver.
We saw Joe Greenwood leave the field with a nasty head injury after clashing with Walmsley, but let's just see if Bibby can make any progress here. Let's go pit-side news from Jenna.
Yeah, he walked straight down the tunnel past me. He was asked if he was okay, gave his thumbs up, but we'll see what the doctors say in the next 15 minutes or so.
General keepers posted, I'm sure. Thank you very much. Masters brought down on the last midway side his own half of the field. Here is Theo Farge, spiralling kick, and well, that's okay. It was a good kick, and it was sort of Ritson caught in two minds, wasn't sure whether to stick or twist.
Yeah, he didn't know whether to go and pick it up or just got caught in a bit of trouble, didn't he? Really had a little look up, saw what was in front of him, didn't want to rush for that ball and make an error. Well, Theo Farge, no, he does get that defence interested. He gets you second guessing at what things are going to do. He's not the biggest, but he does like to go deep into the line when he's attacking. And this is the area that he wants to attack. He wants his big guns here, his big forwards to stop the meters.
I remember him playing in the Challenge Cup final with one arm, you remember, for the first half against Castleford.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. Farge, 6 years and 140 games for St Helens. But his Huddersfield career has been very much stop-start, Theo Farge, because of injury. 11 minutes to half-time. The Giants have held Saints out with the 12 men so far. Here is Parsi, seeing his first bit of action. Roby and Bell with a short pass again. Saints looking to offload, and Sione Matautia also on from the replacements bench.
Well, they're getting half breaks or breaks, aren't they, with those little tip-on plays.
It's Lomax this time with the kick. Lolla here watching it carefully.
Well, it was a good deep kick because they didn't make many meters. Huddersfield again just doing a decent job early on in the set to get off the line and control them.
The important thing for the Giants is to not concede. Luke Yates still has 3 minutes to go in the sin bin. Here's Masters up to halfway. 6 years in the NRL, Ethan Masters. He actually coming into this game as the top offloader in Super League. 29 so far this season. McQueen. What a good signing he's proved to be for the last 3 years for Huddersfield.
Yeah, hasn't he? Just 6 tries this year. Getting to go down that short side, and Theo Farge taking the ball into the line.
Yeah, important tackle from Curtis Sirenen. Lolla here. Up it goes, and Wellsby does well. Was it Makinson who jumped up for it? It was Tommy Makinson. I think it was yours, mine, wasn't it, before Makinson grabbed the ball. Well, Saints lead 10-6, 9 minutes to half-time.
It was a battle between both Makinson and Wellsby at the back, and Makinson comes down with it.
Ritson runs into Cudjoe. Job done, I think, for Ian Watson. And his team defensively playing with 12 men.
Is it a late hit here on? Is it Conrad Huddle?
What?
Conrad Huddle. Well,
take a look.
He offers himself and he hits the deck. You can see he's coming through. He's looking to play short. He just gets a little nudge, doesn't he? Off Masters.
Masters it was, yeah.
Yeah, he goes down. Look, that's what you call hitting on suspicion. You're not so sure whether he's going to get the ball. You've just got to do everything to try and prevent him from making any meters if he does get the ball. And you know that he's going to go route one. Well, he offers himself. The Masters just bites in, doesn't he, and knocks the big man to the ground.
Still a minute or so before the Huddersfield captain, Luke Yates, can come back on after his 10 minutes in the bin. Saints with one more shot at the 12 men. Matautia. Yates waiting to come back on, watching on with interest. Dodd and Lomax it was with the offload, and Batchelor.
Time off, tackle free, 2 balls.
The referee just stopping play because there was another ball on the field in back play, kicked out by Makinson. On we go. Parsi. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook also on the field. Important moments in this game, you feel. Luke Yates about to come back on. Saints looking to score against the 12 men. Here is LMS, McCarthy-Scarsbrook, last tackle. How important will this play prove to be? Dodd and Lomax, quick hands. Wellesby, Makinson for the corner. And Makinson with a cracking try. His 6th of the season. His 301st game for St Helens. And the 12 men couldn't hang on. As Saints whip the ball out to the right-hand side. And Makinson gets another, and Saints extend their lead.
Well, Tommy Makinson, what a player he has been for Saints over the years. Was it 2018? He was Golden Boot winner, best player in the world. He was voted. That right edge, Jake Connor gets it all wrong, and he puts some pressure on Masters and Senior out wide. Jake Connor, he comes in, he tries to shut the play down. If you're going to come in like that, you've got to make sure you come up with the goods. He didn't do that. And Masters and Senior, well, they were struggling then to deal with the numbers, and you give that man a centimetre, he'll take it and he'll score in the corner. Tommy Makinson, well, they didn't need that before half-time, did they?
And in the background, while we were watching the replays, Luke Yates has re-entered the arena. I did say it was a huge play, that last tackle, Terry, and so it proved to be, but the Huddersfield, they were seconds away from keeping Saints out with 12 men. They're back to their full complement. But after leading 6-0, the Giants now trail by 14 points to 6. Makinson so far 1 out of 2 with the boot. And this one, as you can see, right on that right-hand touchline. Hang on a minute. What a kick from Makinson. Well, go figure, he misses from 10 yards to the right of the post and hits over a superb shot from right on the touchline. It's 16-6.
He won't want to talk about that kick, he'll want to talk about the last one though. Sure, look, he can finish from everywhere, can't he? And we've seen some brilliant finishes over the weekend. You look at Tom Johnson yesterday, we've got some outstanding players in that position. And Saints now, they've got what, just under 5 minutes to go. They've got a 10-point lead. Huddersfield can't concede another try before half-time.
Here is Sirinen. Roby at dummy half. 16-6, 4.5 minutes to half-time. Batchelor. They missed him, didn't they, at the start of the season? Missed the first 9 games in Super League after suffering that injury in the World Club warm-up match against St George Illawarra. Here is Parsi.
A nice offload, wasn't it? Second phase from Saints. And the man with the big voice, just look how calm he is behind there, James Roby, the old stager.
Dodd again goes high. Lower here again. Takes it well. Saints leading by 16 points to 6. We're joined by the Saints head coach, Paul Wellens. So far, so good, Paul.
Yeah, I'm pleased with the effort of the guys. Obviously, there's always a couple of areas you'd like to improve on, but, you know, we came here wanting to work hard for each other, and I think you've seen that.
A lot more flair it seems, with the ball in hand.
Oh, I think like most teams, you've got to earn the right to play, but when we've got opportunities, we want, our skillful players to back themselves, and I think, a great example of that was in that last try that Tommy Makinson scored.
It was a cracker. Thanks, Paul, for joining us.
No problem, thank you.
3 minutes to half-time. Saints leading by 16 points to 6, and we'll hear from the Giants camp at the start of the second half. Nowhere for Kevin Nagama to go, but Saints concede a penalty.
I think Huddersfield player is just falling, he's slipping. You can see as he's going down there is contact from Percival, and again we've seen it all year. Players get penalised. There's no intent really from Mark Percival to catch him high. Just as he's falling, it's a reaction, he hits him and he gets the penalty.
Well, we said it was a big moment, an important moment, just before Makinson scored the third try for St Helens. I think ditto here for the Huddersfield Giants. You feel they need to get some points on the board before half-time. Cubjo makes the half break. Lomax round the ankles. Connor. Inside it goes for young Harry Rushton, arriving at Huddersfield via Wigan and by Canberra in the NRL. Farge again. Maybe some space here out wide, but it's a poor pass from Lola here. Bibby forced to backtrack. 2 tackles left in the set for the Giants. McQueen will drill it forward, runs into Ignatius Parsley. Crunching tackle. Farge then looks for the little kick through. It was a knock-on. It was a knock-on, I think, by Percival.
Yeah, he does. He tries to get down and punch that ball cleanly. Unfortunately, he can't do so. Nice kick. Testing kick. Nothing 3 or 5. And just does enough to get him another set of 6 here. Just before half-time, they're going to go to the middle of the field, get a scrum. You can see he just fumbles it as he's hitting the ground.
Well, they've got 1 set, they've got 90 seconds. You feel they have to come up with a try here. 6 tackles to rattle the Saints. But they knock on, and Batchelor will break. He's got support inside him if he needs it. Batchelor. Well, it was Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, and he didn't trust LMS to be fast enough, so he kept hold of it.
He was thinking, no, I'm faster than you. I'm not giving it you.
But Huddersfield could be opened up here by Dodd. It was a poor pass from Lewis Dodd. Well, that really was as disappointing from Dodd as it was from Jake Connor 30 seconds earlier.
Yeah, I agree. And again, that's a disappointing pass as well, isn't it?
And they've lost it again.
Wow.
It's a mistake-a-thon in the closing stages. Saints then have got 50 seconds. This will be a huge blow in Saints' favour and a huge blow to the solar plexus for the Huddersfield Giants if Saints can find a try here.
Well, they're just hanging on at the minute now, the Giants, aren't they? They're setting up on the left-hand side, Saints.
Roby it is. Dodd, and that was a poor pass again.
Stuart, it was out the back. It was out the back. Passy got the defenders interested. And if you just see when he goes at the line, you can see that McQueen had just set his feet. The ball was out the back. It was on a plate.
He got in the way. Yeah. Unfortunate for Lewis Dodd. But it was a play. It was a training ground move, and Parsley made a mess of it. And Huddersfield will be glad to survive that in the end. For Paul Wellens, a satisfactory first 40 minutes and plenty to do. For Ian Watson, not the best 40 minutes we've seen from the Giants, and a lot to do for Huddersfield in the second half. A game you feel the Giants have to win, otherwise they're 6 points adrift of the top 6, approaching halfway mark in this season. At half-time, St Helens lead Huddersfield by 16 points to 6.
Stuart, Terry, thank you very much. Yes, plenty for Ian Watson to do at half-time, plenty for us to talk about at half-time, and we're going to discuss the first 40 minutes of the meeting between the champion St Helens and Huddersfield with Phil Clark and the head of rugby of the Lee Leopards, Chris Chester, who is our studio guest here at St James's Park. Welcome back to St James's Park, Newcastle. It's game 2 of day 2 of the Magic Weekend. 3 first-half tries for the champion St Helens, 1 for the Huddersfield Giants, who have had their captain Luke Yates sent to the sin bin. 10 minutes off the field, and St Helens, well, they look comfortable after 40 minutes. Let's have a look at the stats. We'll see the majority of possession went the way of Paul Whelan's side, and far more meters made, 709 to just 490 for Huddersfield. Both sides with uncharacteristically high handling error numbers. I'm delighted to say we are joined in studio, Phil Clark and myself, by the head of rugby from the Lee Leopards, Chris Chester. We're going to get thoughts on Chris's team's start to the season and indeed their victory in game 1. First, let's have a look back at the first 40 minutes. Huddersfield off to a flying start with a Kevin Nengama try that you, Phil, felt deserved further scrutiny.
Well, we can't quite see if Jake Bibby's onside, but they have certainly turned up the risk factor. There were lots of passes and offloads here. You can't look at the bottom of the right-hand screen. You can't see where the right winger is, but they went on with that, almost in a way negates the necessity to have a video ref, but shoulder-to-shoulder contact, and Nengama drops on the ball. They needed early points, I think, to boost the confidence the way they played recently. It's a great kick, and despite Wellesby's efforts, he can't get there to clear the ball, and they took the lead, but it wasn't long then before St Helens started to show. The second try again from a kick. Controversy for me with this one, even more so, because Johnny Lomax to the top of the right-hand screen with a head guard on is clearly offside, and my understanding of the rules are he's within 10 metres when this ball comes out. It should have been a penalty to the Huddersfield Giants. You can see he's about 4 metres away.
You agree with that, Chris?
Yeah, totally agree with that, Phil. He's within the 10. You know, that's one that should have been chalked off. You can clearly see Lomax offside. And a pretty easy decision to make.
Well, Saints didn't hang about. They were delighted at that, and they went further ahead after Conrad Hurrell's try with Mark Percival, who's returning from injury. What a player to bring back into the side.
Brilliant piece of rugby league here. 5 passes, they end up getting 6 points as a result of it, and I think that's just rugby league at its best. And this is why Saints have been the dominant team for the last few years. When they put the plays together, they can execute them quicker at a faster rate before defenders can recover. Nice offload there from Sirenen, and of course they were down to 12 men shortly after this when Luke Yates got sin-binned. That made a big hole in the defensive side. You can see the delight there for the St Helens sides. An equally impressive try here. Passed it to the right wing this time, not to the left. And Makinson dives in there in the corner.
Part of your remit at the Lee Leopards, Chris Chester, is recruitment. As we see Tommy Makinson celebrate with his teammates. Amongst those is Jack Wellesby. What would he be worth on the open market? Could you afford him? Could anybody afford him?
Pretty much half our salary cap, Brian, probably.
That good a player?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so. And you know what's really worrying for a head of rugby and a team like us is just how Saints, you know, they're starting to hit top gear. And
are you conscious that they're in the rearview mirror?
Yeah, oh yeah. You can never write Saints off, mate.
Heard that before.
I just think, you know, looking at those tries there, just how well they executed, and you know, I think Johnny Lomax is having a good game. Wellesby, you know, they're a very, very tough, physical, quick team through the middle third there, and they've still got James Roby doing what he's doing at however old he is, 40 years old, however old he is.
You've turned them over already this year. You've had a wonderful first half of the season with the Leopards. You recorded a victory here today against Wakefield Trinity that could have pushed you into third had you got a 30-point margin. Not quite enough to put Wigan into fourth position and yourselves into third, but you do finish probably this Magic Weekend in fourth place. You'd take that any day of the week.
Yeah, we would, but we're very, very frustrated that we conceded really, really late at the end. We knew going into the game that 30 points would put us above Wigan, but you know, we've got to be happy with the start. You know, I think we've been written off at the start of the year, and people talked about Lee Leopards and Wakefield Trinity being down at the bottom end, but in-house we felt that we had a team capable of getting into that top 6, and you know, we're in that 6 now, and then, you know, maybe in this next base camp that we probably reassess those targets and goals that we've put in.
Fair to say that the target now would be top 6 or bust.
Yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the space count, we're probably looking at the top 4. You know, we want to be in and around at the back end of the year, and you know, we've put ourselves in a really good position to do that. I think Lammy's done a fantastic job bringing the group together. It's 13 new signings at the start of the season, and you know, I think the way that we attack is pretty exciting. We're scoring some really, really good tries, and the one thing we've got in abundance as well is some speed, and the way that we attack, you know, very similar to St Helens.
Well, St Helens and Huddersfield would certainly have something to say about the top 4 makeup. They would hope. Both of those sitting outside the top 6 at the moment. Both will be desperate to get into those places, occupied currently by, amongst others, the Lee Leopards. We've got the second half from Magic Weekend here at St James's Park on the way. It's the Saints, the champions, with a 10-point half-time lead. What has Ian Watson and Huddersfield got in reply? Well, Tony Smith's side have recovered from a shocking start to the season and arrive at Magic Weekend having found some form with 3 wins in their last 4 league and cup games. Well, he faces his former side Warrington now under the charge of Darryl Powell. They were knocked off top of the table by the Dragons and well beaten in round 13 by the Lee Leopards. A wake-up call, said Darryl Powell. Will his players respond? You'll find out with us here on Sky Sports. It's game 3 of day 2 of the 2023 Magic Weekend at St James's Park, Newcastle. 4:30 p.m. kickoff. That comes after the completion of game 2, which is the champion St Helens up against challengers Huddersfield, who are trailing by 10 at half-time and have had their captain Luke Yates in the sin bin for 10 minutes. It has been a fairly dominant first half display from the Saints, I should say, as the Giants emerge back out here into the sunshine at Newcastle. Lovely atmosphere here for this special Rugby League Jamboree weekend that is the Magic Weekend. Let's go back to our commentary team. Standing by now once more are Terry O'Connor and Stuart Pike.
Yes, and long may the jamboree of the Magic Weekend continue, Brian. Fantastic weekend for the sport, and we've seen some terrific games so far. And St Helens with the advantage. And still a bit to do. Paul Wellens, I'm sure, will have drilled that into his team at half-time. Only 10 points in it. And Saints scoring just 1 try. Seconds before Luke Yates, the Huddersfield captain, was back on the field after 10 minutes in the sin bin. Arguably the strongest St Helens lineup since they beat Penrith to win the World Club Challenge in February. Morgan Knowles to come back into it, of course, after his suspension. And don't forget, Saints against Wigan, live on Sky Sports. Main event, next Friday night. But for now, it's Saints and Huddersfield, the second half about to get underway here at Magic Weekend. St Helens looking to make it 4 consecutive wins. And Huddersfield, after their important win, Sean Wayne, the England coach, taking a keen interest in this weekend. And of course, Paul Wellens has been his assistant, hasn't he, for a long time, until he got the head coach's role at Saints. So here we go, 40 minutes. Can Saints dominate, or can Huddersfield strike back?
Well, they need a big start, don't they? It's going to be interesting to see what Ian Watson says the start of this second half, of what instruction he's give them. We were saying in the first half they started well, then they fell off. Lost Luke Yates to the sin bin, conceded a couple of tries on the back of that. And Saints just got into the groove, didn't he, and started posting some points.
Batchelor gingerly getting up from that challenge. Lewis Dodd with nowhere to go. Saints on the last, but they're midway inside their own half. And it's Lomax who gets the kick away. But it's an easy take on the fly from Tuilola here. Realistically, have Huddersfield got to score first in this second half?
Yeah, I believe they do. Like, to build any confidence and to try and pressure Saints and the scoreboard. They do. Adam Milner onto the field.
Yeah, debut, long-serving Castleford Tigers start, and a debut at Magic Weekend for Huddersfield. McQueen runs into Percival. Some more bad news for the Giants. Joe Greenwood has failed his head injury assessment, so he'll take no further part. And then a mistake from Milner, drops the ball, and Saints get it back.
Well, that's not the start that he wants to his career in a Wakefield shirt. And not the start that they needed in the start of the second half when they're behind on the scoreboard.
Well, Saints also getting a penalty, ripping the ball out in the tackle. So drop ball, then penalty. Mistakes that the Giants can ill afford.
Yeah, that's it. Compound those errors. First of all, the mistake in the play. Ian Watson knows that his side desperately need that field position. When Tuilola here set up that first try from the kick, it's because he's near the line. They can't keep putting themselves under pressure. They with set restarts and penalties that they give away. They give 5 set restarts away, Huddersfield, and 4 penalties in the game. And what are we, 42 minutes into the game?
Well, Watson is trying to build something long-term, isn't he? A dynasty, 3rd in the Super League table. They were 3 minutes away from winning the Challenge Cup, of course, weren't they, last year? But so far, this season has been a season of disappointment. Inside pass to McCarthy, scores for a good charge over, and it was easy in the end for LMS. Brilliant pass from Lewis Dodd, and Louis McCarthy Scarborough, 37 years of age. The first try of the season, and Saints strike first in the second half and extend their lead. You feel it was coming, and it did.
Well, the try is how they wanted. The smile says it all from LMS. 3 minutes into the second half. You don't want to make that error. They give the ball away, and you can see Jake Connor looking at the referee saying, what? You've got to be kidding me. And then Saints, nice ball on the inside to LMS, who just had enough speed to get over. I think there was a couple of the Huddersfield fans thought that ball was forward from Lewis Dodd, but he comes onto the ball at speed with some power as well, LMS, and a good start for that man.
I hope that water bottle wasn't full.
On his notes.
And he went all over his nose, correct. Louis McCarthy Scarborough, 37 years of age. Speculation, nothing announced yet, that it might be his last season. Does he go round again? Does he give it another go? I wonder. Makinson making no mistake, and Saints extend their lead to 22 points to 6.
Well, he's been a good signing, hasn't he? He made his debut back in the Magic round, I think it was about 12 years ago, and look at that. He still runs and still gets excited about the sport like a youngster. Captain of enthusiasm, LMS.
But you know, I mean, on a serious note, he is the dressing room, isn't he, at St Helens?
He's a great character.
Yeah, to have around, and I just wonder whether he will be persuaded to have another go. As you well know, you're a long time retired. Here is Batchelor. And Huddersfield really do have it all to do now. Roby. Saints just beginning to click, aren't they, in that groove. Matautia with the offload, and Wellesby looking for a way through.
Well, first of all, players landing on the front, getting the nose through. Look at this offload.
Sirenen again to Percival, and that's about 4 or 5 offloads from Saints. Percival eventually brought down. Nagama's in there with Harry Rushton. Here is Matautia. Saints looking to go back-to-back. 2 tackles left in this set. 22 points to 6. Roby comes to the right-hand side. Wellesby and Lomax for Makinson, and Makinson in the corner, but it's called back. It's called back for a forward pass. Lomax can't believe it. He looked to the skies in frustration.
Well, quick hands from Johnny Lomax. They fired in a couple of shots early on in this second half, aren't they? You can see you come in, the pressure's there. Oof.
I'm not sure.
I am not so sure that was forward. You know, he takes a bit of a hit after the ball's passed. Might give the impression that the ball goes forward. That, to me, that's fine. That's fine.
Yep, Johnny Lomax agrees with you. Probably should have been a try, shouldn't it? The Giants get away with one.
You know, what that decision does do is just keeps Huddersfield in this game, doesn't it? Look, 16 points behind, concede another one, maybe go 22 points behind, they go on to lose this game. There's no way that Saints are going to let a big lead go, no matter how good that this Huddersfield side will be in the final 34 minutes.
Well, there's no doubt now at 22 points to 6 behind, as Connor gets the kick away and it slices off his boot and it goes out on the full, and nothing going right for the Giants. They have to step up, don't they, Luke Robinson? You've got to now get involved in this if you're going to get back into this game.
Well, that's it. Kicking on the third play. Really difficult for that man.
Luke, all to do now.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I heard you earlier talking about the ruck speed. We're not winning that initial contact area, which is allowing Saints, one, to get on the front foot and get a quick play the ball, but two, on the back of it, if you don't win the initial contact, offloads appear, and again with us with offloads as well as winning the floor area.
Well, Saints threatening again. Thank you very much, Luke. And there'll be no denying Tommy Makinson this time. That was quick. That was lethal. That's a try. Makinson surely getting his second, but it will be confirmed by our video referee, Liam Moore.
OK, it's tackle 2. The live decision's a try. So we're just looking at touch, please. In field of play. Still in the field of play. Still in the field of play. Thank you. I made my decision.
Oh, that little doubt from the moment that he crossed the line. He was denied 3 minutes ago, Tommy Makinson, by a borderline forward pass decision, should we say, but this time Makinson does get the try, and Saints are starting to rub it in here. 26 points to 6 with 2 tries in the first 7 minutes of the second half.
Well, he's not going to get that wrong, is he, Tommy Makinson? He's used to finishing in small little space. Again, you know, Johnny Lomax, perfect. He knows when to deliver this pass, when to get the defenders interested. And look at this. He's got eyes on the winger senior. He knows where his winger is in Makinson, who's on the touchline, and that finish. One of his easier ones, but it still counts. It's 4 points.
I think worryingly for Huddersfield, Terry, it was far too easy.
Yeah, I agree. Conceding a couple of sucker tries, really. Huddersfield, when I said at the very start of the game, the 4th best defensive team in the competition, Huddersfield, and Saints are doing a number on them.
So off the touchline, already kicked one off the touchline in the first half to convert his own try, actually. Can Makinson do it again to add to the Giants' misery? That's a beauty. That is a fantastic kick from Makinson. The flags go up. 9 minutes gone in the second half. Saints conceded the first points of this match. They now lead by 28 points to 6.
Well, there's never any panic, is there? Look, let's be honest, they've not played well this year. Everyone's waiting for them to click into gear. And soon as they just hit the straps, you know that you're dealing with a red-hot Saints side who again want to go out and defend the title.
Here is LMS. 16 points, the personal tally for Tommy Makinson so far. And another penalty given away by Huddersfield, but they are the masters of their own downfall here. With penalties, handling errors, 6 again.
Well, LMS, when he gets hold of this ball, you can see that Chris McQueen, he's took a Saints player off. Again, who's pushing up into that next hole. They got a penalty in the first half when Conrad Hurrell was taken out. They've got another one now. I know they're getting a bit frustrated now because the scoreboard's against them. You've got to make sure you keep your marbles all settled in your mind and stay focused on the job in hand.
You know, as a player, sometimes that's very, very difficult when you know that unless there's a miraculous comeback here, it's going to be a very difficult half an hour for your team.
Stuart, you know that everything's against you. The scoreboard's against you, the clock's against you. You want to get the result. You're looking for a performance. They beat Castleford last week, Huddersfield, but lost the previous 4 points, conceding some big numbers as well. Well, they lost against Salford, but they scored 40 points, but conceded 42, which isn't good enough.
Lomax with the little dummy, well read by McQueen. The Saints fans finding their voice here at St James's Park. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. Wrexham with the tackle. Dodd. Good hands for the Lomax. Wellesby again, and Hurrell again, and Hurrell again, and Hurrell again. Bangs the ball down. But did he get it down? The referee, Marcus Griffith, says yes, he did. Is this a third try of the second half for St Helens?
OK, it's tackle 5. Laddie says it's a try, so we're just looking at the grounding. Does Hurrell maintain possession of the ball at all times? Has it in his hand? Thank you. And then my decision.
I think we've just probably seen two of the easiest video refereeing decisions that Liam Moore has ever made. Tommy Makinson with a try 4 minutes ago, his second, and a second for Conrad Hurrell. And Saints could run away with this.
Yeah, it looks like that, doesn't it? The firepower that they've got. And when you Dodd, your Lomax, your Wellesby link up, and then on the edge, they've got someone the size of that man. Playing with a smile on his face is always difficult to defend against. Look, those three players getting their hands on the ball, giving it to that man. The meters after contact that he makes is difficult to stop. If you're defending your line and you're not going forward, creating any momentum defensively, you start backing off and showing your inside shoulder. Tuilola here, he tries everything against his Tongan teammate. He just can't prevent him from getting that ball down.
Well, it was close when they met back in March. Huddersfield 12, St Helens 14. Conrad Hurrell, what a signing he's been for St Helens, much to muse about for Ian Watson. It wouldn't surprise me or Terry O'Connor if Conrad Hurrell goes around again in 2024 for the Saints. Makinson. No joy this time. If it's on the touchline...
I was just going to say, they need to score him out wide. They need to score him out wide for Tommy Makinson to kick him.
32 points to 6, and still 28 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, like I said, Dodd, Lomax, Wellesby, Conrad Hurrell, back on the inside shoulder, and he's just too big and too strong.
Well, Huddersfield in danger of slumping unceremoniously to their biggest defeat of the season. They lost by 30 points to 4 against Lee. They were beaten 28-0 at Hull KR, and here they are trailing 32 points to 6 against the champions. A lot of people have been asking this season. Ralph Rimmer, alongside Richard Thewlis, the owner and the managing director of Huddersfield. Nothing to smile about for them. A lot of people have asked all season, is the 5th consecutive Super League crown beyond St Helens?
Well, everyone was hoping, all the teams around them were hoping that they weren't going to succeed, but do you know what, like I said before, you look at this Saints side, they're the team that you've got to beat. If you're going to go on and win, you've got to come up with some special plays to lift that trophy come the end of the year.
Yeah, superb kick from Dahl, really good take by Senior, clattered by Batchelor.
Yeah, good timing, wasn't it, from him.
Yeah, Ken Davey it was, of course. Richard Thewlis, who run the machine, don't they, at the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, Ken Davey certainly runs the cash machine, doesn't he?
Well, he has.
The amount of money he's spent over the years.
In funding his passion, his team. Saints in control, 32 points to 6.
Yeah, what we're going to learn about Huddersfield now. Still got big minutes to go in this game. Joey Lussick onto the field. On for James Roby, who's done the opening 55 minutes. So there'll be a bit more injection of pace around the ruck early for Ian Watson to deal with.
Yeah, James Roby, of course, will retire at the end of this season. The Rugby League rumour mill is suggesting that Darryl Clark will be his replacement at St Helens. But the Rugby League rumour mill at this stage of the season seems to wheel into action as St Helens are here and Wellesby gets the ball out. I think that may well have come off a Huddersfield hand. It did indeed, and Ritson looking for a way through, and across the field he goes. T. Ritson looking for a gap and scrambling back the Huddersfield Giants once more.
Well, the Huddersfield fans were holding their breath then when he got hold of that ball. Parsi with terrific strength. 1, 2, 3, 4 Huddersfield players to hold him back on that line. Here is Lussick and Dodd with a sidestep. Happy to take them on, Lewis Dodd. Well, Lussick, I think, just dropped the ball, didn't he? Leroy, I think Leroy Cudjoe just knocks his arm off, pulls his arm round the ruck, pulls the ball out. Always dangerous players, that's so close to your line as well. You saw them calls go either way. Look at that for defence. Wow. Big effort, big effort.
Yeah, Percival, McCarthy, Scarsbrook, and
they celebrate defence like they've scored a try. You look at the reaction from them. Players from all over the field come in to congratulate them. Look, there's no way that they're going to let Bibby get to the ground. There's 4 of them involved. You can see him pushing them over. Ngama's just trying, and that's the reaction of the coach as well.
I think you should start a petition, Terry, for LMS. 1 more year. He's made an impression, hasn't he, since he's come on?
Well, he always makes an impression, doesn't he? Here he is. He's heard his name. He's heard his name. He wants a bit more of the action.
Dodd. And again, Saints looking to move the ball, and they do move the ball. It'll be a hat-trick for Tommy Makinson.
Too easy.
And Saints now are running riot. Too easy indeed. And they've now scored 4 tries in the first 17 minutes of the second half.
Again, the setup is exactly the same from Saints. The attacking shape is there. You notice the first man off the ruck who gets hold of the ball. But Lewis Dodd has got a man inside, outside, someone out the back. Then again, it's that out the back shape that creates the space, and you've got defenders out wide for Huddersfield panicking. They're trying to jam in and close it down, and they can't do that. They're outnumbered. It's all from the work that's happening in the middle and around the ruck area that's creating the space, because there's so many dummy runners and options, and Paul Wellens knows that that's a move. That's a training ground move that they work on time after time in training. And they'll show them clips of how they want them to play, how they want them to attack. And it's certainly paying off.
The 12th hat-trick of Tommy Makinson's Saints career. It's 300th appearance for the club against Leeds in that dramatic, nail-biting victory last weekend at Headingley. But this appears to be the day that St Helens' season has come alive.
Well, there's teams now that are watching this, and they're going to be worried. And this is the sort of performance as well they want before they play the Warriors on Good Friday, knowing that there's going to be a response from them.
Off the touchline. Oh, he has to kick everyone off the touchline.
He's got it again.
He's got another one. Put him midway between the post and the corner flag, and he's nailed on to miss. Put him on the touchline.
Look at this. You look at him. Lewis Dodd gets it. Look at them options on the inside. So there's defenders that are panicking, and they all have to stay nice and tight. But because he's got that many options, there's space out wide, and it leaves Senior like panicking, just trying to sort it out. Unfortunately, I can't do that.
38 points to 6. 22 points is the contribution of Tommy Makinson. Just being honest here, Terry, I'm sure you'll agree, I'm very disappointed with Huddersfield. On paper, they look strong, don't they?
They said that the start of the year, the big squad that they had, and competition for places, and when you've got like so many maverick players, and does the jigsaw fit all the time? And I'm not so sure that it's quite worked out for them as of yet.
Five wins in 12 games. It's going to be 5 wins in 13 games. Dodd with the kick downfield, easily taken by Lollahea. I think you've got to say that as Lollahea with an awful pass, and that moment there sums up a dreadful day at Magic Weekend for the Huddersfield Giants.
Yeah, well, they're just putting themselves under pressure, and obviously, well, that scoreboard is heavily against them. And when you look down Huddersfield's side, and we've talked about injuries over the weekend of players and big players missing for certain teams, it's having an effect on the scoreboard. This Huddersfield side, it's more or less full strength, isn't it? You look across the board and you think, right, okay, they've got all the players that they want playing, all the players that can change games, but just not happening.
Well, too many of those players have been anonymous today. That's been the problem.
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to give credit to the team that they're playing against, haven't you?
Absolutely.
And Saints have been brilliant.
Too good, far too good. Wellesby and Percival runs onto the ball. Saints looking for more, but it's knocked on, I think, by Percival. It is, and Nagama it was in there with the tackle with McQueen.
Well, it's just as he's going to the ground and McQueen comes in, hits him, just loses the ball, it just spills out. And although they made the mistake, they've still made it 90 metres away from their own try line. And the way that they have been defending, they've only missed 5 tackles. You look at Huddersfield, who've missed 17 in this game.
18 minutes to go. St Helens lead by 38 points to 6. Let's go down to the touchline. Jenna has news.
Yeah, I've got news from the earlier game between Wakefield and Lee. We saw Wakefield centre Jack Croft carried from the pitch after a nasty head and neck injury. Well, I can tell you that I've spoken to the club. He's lucid, he's talking. However, he was taken to hospital just for precautionary reasons.
Thank you, Jenna. Matautia gives away the penalty. Huddersfield with an opportunity.
Well, LMS it is, and Jake Connor's head, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, have Huddersfield been inside the Saints 20 with the ball in this second half?
You can't remember them. You can't remember them applying any pressure. I think they had a couple of sets. Well, they're going to get a chance here, although knocked the ball on. They had a set restart, didn't they?
And then they knock on.
He was sort of with Lollahea, like forced to play. That goes into touch. They made the error. They don't manage to get into Saints' half. They get a set restart here. And Peach just passes that ball. It's forward. Chris Hill loses it as well.
Just keep responding to those calls in the road, guys.
It's been disappointing. Been a disappointing day for Huddersfield and their fans.
And a tough 3 weeks coming up as well for the Huddersfield Giants as far as Super League is concerned in June. It's Warrington away. That's next Saturday, of course, live on Sky Sports. 5 o'clock kickoff as Hurrell looks to go through for a hat-trick. He's already scored twice. Then it's Leeds away. Then it's Wigan away. Warrington, Leeds and Wigan, the next 3 for Huddersfield. McCarthy, Scarsbrook. Already Huddersfield's biggest defeat of the season, and it could get worse. Lussack, Dodd, and Matty Lee's back on the field for St Helens. Matautia, and they're coming again with Batchelor. Cudjoe making the tackle. Connor in there as well.
Yeah, penalty.
But a Saints player taken out in backfield again.
I think it was Lewis Dodd that was taken out. The halfbacks are really having a dig, aren't they? They're going at the line, and the defence is certainly getting interested. You can see he just comes in, gives him a bit of a nudge, and that's all that's needed. Well, at the line, And it'll just be a penalty.
Yeah.
Easton. Luke. Time for your captain.
Let's see
Can I
what
just
Marcus
tell you,
Griffiths has to say.
we've had multiple occasions where you've caught a player late. You need to tackle him and take him to ground. If you do it again, I will take it further. Understand? Got it?
A warning there for Easton Masters. A penalty for St Helens. And of course they'll run it. Walmsley back on. You're in opposition and all of a sudden with 15 minutes to go, Lees and Walmsley come on. Lussick at dummy half.
Not what you need if you're in a Huddersfield jersey.
No, Jordan. Well, did that come off Connor first?
Yeah, Jake Connor.
Yeah. Well, he saved a certain try, that's for sure.
Again, they seem to be outnumbered, don't they? And Jake Connor, like, he makes the decision to come in. And he knows that if that ball goes out, it's a 3-on-2. And he's got to get that right. He's got to come up or even force the error like he did. But now, on the back of forcing that error, he's got 6 more players to defend the try line.
It's been relentless from the champions in this second half. Lomax and Wellesby for T. Ritson looking to find a way through. Ritson on loan initially this season from Barrow. Wouldn't be surprised if that move is made permanent. Walmsley. Walmsley, 49 tries for St Helens. He'd love the half century today. Lees again trying to swivel out of the tackle. Been a dominant performance from St Helens. Lomax, long pass out, and it's 4 for Makinson. Tommy Makinson gets 4 tries at Magic Weekend. And this is a pummeling. St Helens go 42-6 in front.
They have absolutely destroyed him over on the right-hand side with Hurrell and Makinson. They have just got no answer, Huddersfield, to how this St Helens side are attacking over on their right-hand side. And you can just see, getting interested in dummy runners. The ball again from Johnny Lomax. 11 try assists he's got this year. You just look at that. It's to perfection. He hits him. He doesn't have to break a stride. Tommy Makinson, all he has to do is catch it and just concentrate and focus on the ground, and there's a bit of man love from Conrad Hurrell.
Yeah, smiles from the coach, smiles from Conrad Hurrell. 4 tries for Tommy Makinson. The record at Magic Weekend for tries in an individual game is 5. Joe Monaghan for Warrington against Widnes back in 2012, and Danny Maguire for Leeds against Bradford the same year. Can Makinson join that exclusive club? He's got 13 minutes still to go to try to do that. 4 tries so far, and every conversion attempt that Makinson has had on this right-hand touchline, he's put right through the middle. Where's your 10p? Where's your 10p?
Yeah, I'm going with him on this. He's kicked every goal from every try that he scored, so the omen, well, it's with him. I'm going to back him.
Okay. You put the jigs on him. First one he's missed from wide out.
I thought he'd missed that one, to be fair.
Terry owes me 10p. But Saints are dominant.
Like I said, look, just absolutely red hot over here. And Huddersfield, well, the reaction from Yates, well, that just says it all. This shell-shocked. A big start from them, first to score, and then since that point, then it's just all been Saints.
Hold him, Matty. It's going well done, mate. 1.
Well, let's be honest, when you and I were talking a little earlier, we thought this would be close.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely.
2.
You looked at both sides. Both sides
Hold. Go.
weren't playing, if we're honest, at their best.
Next ring, yeah.
But Saints, like, this is the sort of form that's won them the last 4 grand finals.
Pushing to the side. Go. Play on. Free.
Don't forget Saints and Huddersfield have played a game less than all the other clubs because that's the game in hand. Saints against Huddersfield. It was due to be on the weekend that Saints were in Australia beating Penrith in the World Club Challenge. So St Helens and the Giants at the TW Stadium to be organised TBC at some stage later in the season. Lollahea forced to chase this one under pressure. Matautia chases him down. Damage limitation now for the Giants.
And he knows what's coming, doesn't he? As soon as he gets that ball. When a team plays on the front foot, even when they haven't got the ball, they kick it and everyone's going to be there. Everyone's full of beans, full of confidence. The possession has been 62% in favour of Saints, so they're fresh. They've not had to defend.
Well, Huddersfield get the benefit of a set restart. I was talking about Makinson's possibly equaling the try-scoring record. If he kicked that goal, he'd have broken the individual record for the most points scored by a player at Magic Weekend. That's currently held by Sean Long, 27 points. 3 tries, 7 goals and a drop goal when Saints beat Wigan back in 2008. So still 10 minutes for Makinson to bust that record. There's still 10 minutes for some consolation for the Huddersfield Giants. McQueen brought down on halfway. Here is Farge. Now, Kevin Nagama knows only too well what the St Helens team can do, as he was part of it for 3 years. And he's been on the end of it today. Off the side of the boot from Lollahea. Dodd lets it bounce. And eventually, Saints come up with the ball. Well, the player of the match over Magic Weekend is decided by you, the viewers, and you can vote via the R-League app, and not surprisingly, Saints players involved. Tommy Makinson, 26 points. James Bell, Jack Wellsby, Curtis Sirenen, who's had a stormer. You choose the man of the match by going to the R-League app. Walmsley. The Saints really have come alive, haven't they, today? Talked about those stats. Not scoring many points. But they're in the mood at Magic. Lomax goes high. Matzler takes it beautifully well. Dodd was supporting, but just couldn't hang on to it.
What's going on there at the back? Do you know, in Huddersfield, the ball goes up in the air, the ball's kicked. I think there's 2 players, do you know, around there, and it's unlike Tui Lollahea to go for this. He's probably looking at Senior, thinking that because Senior's coming off the wing, he's going to get the ball, and he's going to shout for the ball. They didn't. They got away with one there.
One, go. Do it. 2.
Oh, solid hit from Bell.
Go, 2. 3.
James Bell's been consistent, hasn't he, for Saints, ever present this season.
Yeah, he's been a good signing, had a good year. I'm not saying just good cover for when Morgan Knowles doesn't play, but very similar. Oh, there's a high shot there. There's a high shot, Conrad Hurrell.
Yeah, apologises. Masters brought down.
Well, there's a grab, isn't there? Gets it wrong, gets away with it.
Can Huddersfield get some points on the board? They scored after 6 minutes through Kevin Nagama. Haven't really come close since.
Eats it. 1. Move, Alex. Back it up, Joey. Go, well done, Bob.
Still to come, Magic Weekend. Cracking finish to what's been a cracking weekend. Warrington looking for the win, which would take them back to the Super League summit against Hull FC. 7.5 minutes to go here. Lollahea with a long ball. Bibby going for the corner, but no joy. But Huddersfield are inching closer. Nagama finds Lollahea. They go the short side. Farge and McQueen twisting and turning. It was Ritson with the tackle. Farge again for Nagama. But the former Saints player carried back behind the line. And you'll have to play the ball 10 metres out, Kevin Nagama.
Well, good scramble from Saints on the last play. Now one more tackle to defend.
They run it with Lola here, and the kick goes through, and it's picked up by Welsby, and Welsby's away as Welsby got the legs. He's been chased by Senior. Senior shadows him, but gets the ball out to Makinson, looking for 5 tackles. Oh, what an offload! What a try this is going to be for Luthick! That is the try of the magic weekend, and boy, it was magical from St Helens, who go the full length of the field with some scintillating, sparkling handing, and what a try! What a try!
Well, you look at the smile from Paul Wellens, and probably says it all, doesn't he? He's had some results that has gone against him this year, but look, they're under pressure here, and they've got to make sure that they come up with the goods. And on the last play, they kick the ball, and Jack Welsby, well, it looks as though he just sets in for crap. Matty English chasing him down, gets the offload away. And then all of a sudden, what about that for a pass? Joey Lussick, good speed, good evasion, gets rid of Cudjoy, scores in the corner. Well, this is Saints at their best, when they're under pressure and they come up with the goods. Welsby gets it, and where Tuilola here should have been defending, he goes straight up the guts. Nice offload. No panic at all from this Saints, and what about that? Tommy Makinson knows, he gets him interested. And Joey Lussick in support, and the applaud from Matty Smith and Paul Wellens. It's been a good day at the office for those lads.
The smiles of the coach. What a try. Have we just seen the try of the season so far?
We've seen a good try. I don't know whether it's a try of the season. I'm sure if you're a Saints fan,
it'll be a contender.
You'll be putting it up there. You'll be putting it up there.
Well, this for the record. Sean Long, 27 points, the individual record in a magic weekend. And Tommy Makinson has just rewritten the record books. Another brilliant kick off the touchline. 28 points for Makinson. 48 points for St Helens. 5 minutes to go. They lead by 48 points to 6. Let's go pitch side. Gemma.
Clarkie, I can tell you the match officials were just holding their breath then. Tommy Makinson, who you see there on the screen, involved in that try. He's also scored 4 today. Well, I can tell you he's broken 2 corner flags, scoring those tries in the process. And Ian Watson's not the only one hoping he doesn't do it again. So are the match officials, because I can tell you there are no corner flags left.
That's the best bit of information that you've come up with this week. Yeah, that's brilliant, Jenna.
Jenna will have to just go down and stand on the corner flag, won't she?
Ritson now has got space. Now he's got space. Ritson, has he got the pace? Has he got the pace? Ritson still going. Oh, he's held back. What a try that would have been, but what a tackle that was from Nagama. Ritson looked all over a try scorer. Kevin Nagama, your team are losing 48-6, and somehow he grabs onto Ritson's collar.
Go, no tackle.
Huddersfield are out on their feet. Saints are looking for 50. Whoa, and it was Walmsley who's looking for his 50th try for St Helens. Lussick, with the ball, is picked up by Ritson. Will he go through this time, T. Ritson? He was awfully close to going 70 metres.
Hits him hard, McQueen, doesn't he? Takes him to the ground, Ritson.
What a tackle that was from Nagama. Little offload for Matty Lees.
Away Easton! Hold. Go.
Day to forget for Huddersfield. Batcher looking to offload. Pete's in there trying to stop him with Cudjoe. Still 2 tackles to defend, 2 plays for Huddersfield to defend. Lomax, it comes off English. It'll be play on, picked up by Bell, and Bell swivels towards the line.
It's back to 1, isn't it?
It is.
Played by Matty English.
Lee's interested in having his name to the score sheet, right in front of the post.
Go to.
Lussick slips, wrapped up again by McQueen.
Go free.
They switch sides.
Short 4.
Walmsley brought down.
Alex, step back. Alex, step back. Go 4.
Plays it. And Lussick and Dodd. And Wellesby. Ritson on the bounce.
That contact was fine.
Goes round Farge, kicks the ball through and eventually knocks it on. And the chance is gone. And Huddersfield will try and break with Leroy Cudjoe. 2 minutes to go, Saints leading 48-6.
They are desperate for this whistle to go. You see the amount of Huddersfield players that are just out on the feet, the amount of defending that they have had to do. 100 tackles more than Saints in this game. And only managed to make 1 break as well, compared to Saints 13.
Well, that says a lot, doesn't it? That says everything. A record-breaking day for Tommy Makinson. 28 points in a single game at Magic Weekend. And Huddersfield and their fans and their coach will be counting down the seconds here. Next up for the Giants, live on Sky, away at Warrington on Saturday evening. There we go. On air, Sky Sports Arena, 4:30 the kick-off, 5 o'clock. Saints Wigan on Friday. Arena and main event. Brian and the boys from 7:30. Penalty to Huddersfield.
No, it's where Chris is.
With Lola here hitting back play.
And then Chris Hill was taken out. And says the Matalti has hit him late as he's passed the ball.
So is there consolation for Huddersfield in the final seconds of this game? English brought down on the Saints 20.
Hold on. Wait. Go on.
Farge. Nowhere for Eason Masters to go, looking for the offload, but it was covered by Lewis Dodd.
Move, Alex! Hold, nothing. Go to.
The final seconds of the Huddersfield Giants. The nightmare is at an end. For St Helens, arguably their best performance of this Super League season. And Saints make it 4 wins on the spin. And for that man, Tommy Makinson, a record-breaking day. 4 tries and 28 points to bring him a personal record. And for the likes of Chris Hill and for Nathan Peets, disappointment and desolation. And for Ian Watson, he's got 6 days to regroup. Lomax instrumental in all that St Helens did. They were 6-0 down, they led 16-6 at half-time, and they ran away with it in the second half. 4 tries for Tommy Makinson, and Saints are making giant strides up that Super League table. They've beaten Huddersfield by 48 points to 6.